Hey everybody, welcome back to the studio again. Yes, it's that time. We're gonna do a special video here that's been kind of requested. Getting a lot of messages about this topic. I had a video up in the past and it went kind of like this: Flames of War Battlegroup head to head. Okay, we're not doing that. I am going to compare the two games, if you want to call it comparison. So this video is really geared to the person who does not own Battlegroup, does not own Flames of War, and you're thinking about getting into 15mm World War II company level games. Okay, now I would not compare these two games. Okay, it's been 2 years since I played my first game of Battlegroup. I've played several games. Any of you that follow my channel know this. They have been amazing. We do the team battles. It's typically 3v3. A couple of times it's been 4v4. Epic battles, amazing table, the whole shebang. Very realistic, if you want to go that route. Rule set. You're never going to get everything totally realistic, guys fighting war. It's just going to be similar to how the troops moved. Now, it's not a comparison. They both have their strong points, right? On its face, I would say this: if you are a player who likes to play tournaments, you like to go to the conventions, you like to go to the local game shops that do tournaments, this is going to be the rule set for you. Flames of War. They have a very strong tournament scene. They have regionals, they have nationals, and they even have world championships that you can go to for this rule set. No joke. It's competitive. There's a lot of great lists. And we're going to go over that with Flames of War right now, basically how this rule set plays out here. We're going to go to the top-down cam, and we're going to just review some of the basics of the game. I am not going to review these rules. They're not perfect, and they're not terrible. They are good rules for what they are. Flames of War plays quicker, right? Faster games than I would say Battlegroup. The Battlegroup games we have played have even, you got to consider they're big battles and there's a lot of guys, and you could play smaller games that would play quicker, but I would say this rule set plays a little bit longer. There's some more steps each movement or each turn of the player. In this rule set is, with this new edition, 4th edition, it has really catering to, like I said, tournament play, quicker play, 2 hours or less, and that's kind of the niche they're going for. They've streamlined the rules quite a bit so that it's not as sticky. Now, every game system is going to come out with a quick help guide, and it's going to be something that we keep on the table when we play. And you can see right here with the starting step: remount bailed out tanks, rally pinned down units that were fired at and became pinned, check unit last stand, make sure that the unit is not broken, right, and it needs to be pulled off the table because of command or morale, right? You know, basically do your morale check. Check formation last stand, that's for the whole unit. Now this is one of the sticking points that guys will have with Flames of War, and that is you can fail morale tests and have entire units pulled off the board instead of, you know, fighting to the bitter end. Now there are some special rules for like German SS, elite troops, where they will have a modifier you add to your roll so that it makes them more resilient on morale checks. That was kind of always a sticking point with me with this game, especially with this edition and even previous editions, was the fact that if you fail a morale check, you're done. We're not really experiencing that with Battlegroup as much. we got check victory conditions, reveal ambushes, roll for reserves, roll for aircraft, remove friendly smoke markers. Okay. So then we go down to the movement, then we do our shooting phase. It's a nice cheat sheet here where it breaks down all the different things that you can encounter shooting here. You got your line of sight, you got your shooting step. Now up here in the movement, you'll say one of the other sticking points of the game that a lot of players do not feel is realistic to World War II combat is the staying in command rules. Within 6 inches of unit leader, within 8 inches of unit leader if the unit has 8 or more teams. So as you lose units, you have to stay tighter. At the beginning of the game, you can stay a little looser with 8 inches. It is what it is. Remember, it is a game. They're trying to keep everybody together on the board. This will play a lot like the 40K rules I'm reviewing. A lot of the game systems will have command distances to keep platoons moving as a unit, not sprawling all over the place. So there's that. You turn it over, we got our shooting phase continues here. Shooting, and then you can fire your artillery, and then you do assault. You do charges if you're within range of a charge, and you can do your hand-to-hand combat. So talking about assault, I would say my experience with Flames of War has been that the infantry can be weak depending on what list you're building, but if you dig in, if you're dug in troops, you dig in and you can stay pretty resilient, and you'd be surprised if you get good with using infantry on tank assaults and things, they can be pretty deadly. So that's something you'll just have to experiment with when you get into the rule set. Let's see if we can go up a little higher on the close cam here, guys, so we can get a better view here for you. Sorry, still ironing out the kinks here in the new studio. But we have it set up so that any of my build tables, my paint desk, my airbrush table, I can shoot at every table. Every table has a rig set up so that I can film, right? So lists. Now let's get to lists. Lists are going to come from a couple of places. You can buy books. They have, this one is for early war British forces in North Africa, 1902 to 1943, Armored Fist. You can almost call this a mid-war book, but this did come out when they did come out with the new 4th edition rules, and you can build your lists out of here. It's just full of information. These are worth their weight in gold. This is one of the other complaints people will have about Flames. Oh, they've got all these books you've got to buy, blah, 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 blah. We'll get to that. You don't necessarily have to buy books to build your lists, but I highly recommend it. And guys, this is how they make money, right? This is, and here's another caveat. Let's throw this out there. If you're looking to get into company level games in wargaming, it can get expensive to build an army, to get the literature that you need, to build lists, to do the things you want to do in the game. And that's just how it is. I mean, they've got starter box, a starter box that you can pick up that gets you in. It's a great starter box. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. It's got 2 forces. It's going to have a little mini rule book. It's going to have everything you need to get started. And then you can just build off of there. And like I've said in previous videos, take it just one step at a time, buy what you need when you need it, starting with that core box set. And that's one of the strong suits, many strong suits Battlefront has, the parent company that produces this game. They also produce World War III, Team Yankee. It's going to have a similar structure, similar type of rules for a different era, but it's going to have that same flavor and support with the literature that they sell. And look, you're going to learn about like the Second Battle of El Alamein, right? It's going to show you the maps and your troop movements, so you can play campaigns. You can have a series of battles that recreate entire campaigns, right? And it just goes on and on. When I get to the list building, know your tanks. This is kind of going over all of the different types of tanks that the British used for that era. in the desert. Now you go to the desert armies, okay, Armored Fist Force, right? It's going to allow you by these boxes to tell you what you can pick out, and you come up with a point system, how many points you want to play, 500 points, 200 points. Now in the new rule set, they've scaled down the points to match the point system that's in Team Yankee or World War III, so that they would be familiar, and players of both rule sets or both eras would be familiar with a standardized set of rules and point system for the tournaments. Okay, so then there's people that complained about that, you know, especially the old players like me. I have all these old books that are, you know, like this one I was going to show you here. Now this is more of a campaign book. It covers the Allied invasion of France, June-September 1944. So this is going to have British, American lists, okay? It's a beautiful book, I highly recommend it, but it's the old system. It's going to use the old point system, which is a higher point system, higher value point system. Now the new book I have over here on my shelf that acts as a converter, and you can convert these old books to the new score system. So it's not a huge issue, but these old books are really nice to have. If you find them on eBay, you see them at a bookstore, a used bookstore, pick them up. They're a hoot. They're just like this, chock full of information, and still have great lists that are valid lists, and you just have to convert to the new point system. Okay, now enough of that. So you get the idea. You can buy unit books that are for specific armies, like British Army, American Army, German Army. Then they have campaign books also that will, a lot of times I have the it's the Battle of Bastogne, and it has the German list, the American list, the British lists that you need to play that campaign. So there's that. You've got unit, nation-specific books, and you have campaign-specific books. Now the other thing you can do, they have on their website a list builder. Okay, it's like $1 for a list. Okay, it's not expensive. You go in, you build your army that you want to field. I did all these on their website. This is a tank company, and it even, when you print it out on your LaserJet printer or your inkjet printer, it breaks down your combat list. So all you need is this on your table while you're playing. It's going to have all the points. It'll have Tank Company HQ, Tank Platoon, 4 Shermans, Tank Platoon, 4 Shermans. Now this was obviously an American list. Late war, right? Platoon count. Now this was technically was the old version 3, but this has been all updated. But just to give you an idea, I've just saved these. I haven't really played much, so I dug these out of one of the rule books, campaign books. It's going to have your point value up here, as this is the old point value system, but you get the idea. They'll have a version 4 list builder on their website, and they say there are some free list builders out there. I used to toy with those back when I played Flames of War, and I didn't find them to be very good. I would honestly just go to their main website, set up an account. You load your credit card or debit card information in. You can use that for purchasing items from Battlefront directly. They'll ship them to you. They do have an office. I believe it's in Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken, and it'll ship directly from here. It won't ship from overseas. So unless they're on back order, right? And they might ship them from New Zealand, is where Battlefront is headquartered. But you get the idea. This is a Panzer company that I did, and then the list is $1, right? I mean, it's just $1. And then you have it, and also save it. You can save your lists to a file on their list builder, so you'll have it if you ever need to print them off again, if you lose these, whatever. So that's a good selling point to Flames of War. Now, the other thing that I really, really like about Flames of War, the 4th edition, was the new unit cards. Now, this is an example of the jumbo German pack that I bought. and it's got all of the new German stuff. So this will also make it easier when you build your list, say out of an old book. You find an old book and you want to build lists out of it, you can pull your units out and it will give you the point value of the unit, right? And you can add them up. But this tells you all the things you need to know. They're very high quality. The graphics are very, very good. There's a picture of the model on the front. This is obviously the Tiger. It's giving you your front armor, your side armor, your top armor. It's going to telling you that this is a veteran, or if it's playing as a confidant, which affects your role, you know, the type of troop that you are, your experience. Okay, it's going to give you your gun, your range is 40 inches, and your MGs, your machine guns, in the tank 16 inches, right? And try to keep the glare off of things. So we just go through a couple of these. Panzer Grenadier Company, right? So the production value of the models, and their new model kits are all plastic. The ones I purchased for version 4 Desert Warfare that I have here on the channel, if you want to go look at those videos, very high quality, very happy with them. Most of my stuff that I've collected over the years is resin and pewter. Okay, so those are highly sought after, so I have a really strong collection of those, and I'm holding on to them. I even have the old Flames of War battle foam bags that they do not make anymore. Okay, they make a battle foam bag that's similar, but they don't make the one that says as stitched Flames and War on the front, and I've got 6 of them over here, so I'm really glad that I have those. And like Holy Diver said, I'm a collector. Okay, I'm not out to build the stuff and then when I'm done with it I sell it. I don't do that. I'm building up a strong collection. Okay, so that's kind of the basics. Like I said, I'm not going to review this rule set. I like Flames of War. Hopefully my son and my nephew will be home for Christmas. And last time they were home for Christmas, they didn't start playing till late, and I'm an early bird. I go to bed at 8 and I get up at 5 for my work. So unless I take a long nap in the afternoon, this old codger, I just can't hang. I can't hang late anymore, guys. By 9 o'clock, I'm done. Right? I need to go to bed. So we'll get him over here hopefully in the afternoon this time, and we'll jump in. I'll try to film some of that game this year, so we can get some more Flames of War content on the channel for you. I can't say that I'm not going to do some sort of a little battle from time to time, just because I still love this rule set. I started on version 2, and we played a lot. Okay, now we're going to get to the battle group. Oh, battle group. Now, first thing I want to say about battle group is this is going to be a less expensive rule set to get into. Okay, I've got a box over here that I won at a game here at a convention we went to a year or so ago. I was going to bring it over here, but their box kits for the models are much less expensive than, I would say, even half as expensive as the Flames of War kits. They're still good kits, they're still good quality. I would say they're not as high production value as the Flames of War stuff, and the cards that come with the units and the kits that will come with the Flames of War kits, you've seen the quality of the cards. Now, I do have some of the battle group cards, and you can see it's a much different standard. These do work, right? These do work, but they're very basic. All right, they're one-sided. They do tell you that the print is very small, and I know some of the guys, they get on Word or something, a software program, which I'm going to start figuring out for another game on how to make my own cards, my own unit cards and things. And a lot of guys will make their own unit cards, and they'll actually take photos of their models and then insert the photo onto the card and make their own cards and then put them in the little cards like you'd use for Magic the Gathering and stuff, you know, the little card protectors. So there's that. But these will come when you buy a campaign book. Okay, so they do campaign books. They do not do British early war for various periods. They don't do nation-specific books. They do conflict books or campaign books. So this one's obviously for Tobruk. Still the same good quality, but usually when you get one of these books, it will come with the cards and you just have to cut them out, right? You got a cutter like I have over here, or just take a pair of scissors and cut them out. Or just leave them like this and just use them like this. You could put them in a protector like I like to use, and you don't have to cut them into cards. But to let you guys see that the production value is not as high as the Flames of War production value, and that's okay. There's a lesser cost to get into this game. Each of these books you can get for 20 bucks, right? You can get the rule book for 20 bucks. You can get on their website now, and I think for 10 bucks you can get the PDF. I think it might even be cheaper than that. And you can take the PDF, put it on your smartphone, throw it on your tablet, and you don't even need to use the books, right? So there's that. And you know, Flames of War is the same way. You can get on their website. Everyone these days, Mantic, all the big game companies, they all are selling PDFs, right? If you want to go that route and you just don't want to deal with the books and lugging them around, and you just have a little iPad or your smartphone, and you're happy with doing that. So there's that. Playability. Now here's the sheet that comes with the reference sheet with the rules. Now the main difference is on Flames of War you can move what you want, when it's your turn. In this rule set you have officers that count as points on your roll for orders. Then you roll for your orders each turn, how many orders you're going to get for that turn. This is the main difference, and this is why a lot of guys like this rule set, because that's kind of how it works. Well, it is how it works in real battle. That you're trying to get orders through to the units via radio, via runners, whatever means you can get the orders out to the units in the field. And it can vary. Each turn you may have more orders or less orders, and you have to dole those orders out to the units, right, for them to move, for them to shoot, and so forth. And this is where you do your orders for the turn. Okay, you got the squad is 1d6 plus officers. If you're playing a company level, you get 3d6 plus your officers. So if you have 6 officers, you every turn take that 6 officers, 6. You roll the 3d6 and you add that to your 6, and that's how many orders you get that turn. You've got your movement, off-road, on-road. I said in other videos when I did a battle, put up a battle report on my first battle group battle, you want to control the roads, just like in real warfare. When you control the roads, you're going to move a lot quicker. It's very similar to that in Flames of War. The units move quicker on roads also. And you've got your rate of fire here. You've got your infantry, deployed, soft-skinned, open-top, enclosed aircraft. You go down through here for your ranges. Now, as I mentioned in another video, we're going to be playing this upcoming battle we're planning in 28mm. So this game you can play in 28mm also, and you can play in 15mm. And a lot of guys overseas, a lot of guys play, and this was really written initially for 20mm, but the rules will easily translate to, because the ranges are big. You know, there's got long ranges in this game, which is similar to how the weapons really operated. So bottom line is, it's order based. You gotta wisely disperse your orders to units. You can play this in 3 different scales, right? 15mm, 20mm, 28mm. This will be my first time playing this game in 28mm. And Jason Rowe plays it all the time, and he says it's great. It converts easily, and I'm excited to try it. You got your artillery. You got all these things that are similar, but you got your chart here for converting what your rating of your weapon is based on a letter, and then you drop down on what the modifier is for your target, right, to get what roll you need. Okay, 2d6, right? So you got your aimed fire. So this would be like you know, weapons, not just weapons, the like anti-tank guns, tanks, right? And it'll give you your ranges and the types of weapons that you're using, and if there's a modifier, right, for your roll. So I don't think this game, and I don't see, when I've gone to these conventions, I do not see this being played as a tournament level game. I think it could be. I think this is up and coming. There was a period of time, a year or year and a half ago, where the company was in some financial trouble. It's owned by this rule set was developed by Plastic Soldier Company, and they make a lot of the kits that you can buy that are much less expensive than the Flames War kits, as I mentioned. But it is oftentimes they don't have everything, and you'll have to go to Battlefront to get the 15 mil units you may need to flesh out your army. So that's basically it. You can see the book is very well. It's very well laid out. It's even got copies of the chits that you can use in the back of the book. I'll show you here that you can cut out and put into a. I've got a dice bag, and I bought some from Historique. Historique.com. They sell the little buttons. They sell markers and other things. I would highly check them out. He makes some really good product. So I bought some of the chits, I bought the dice bag, and you roll in when you get a hit or you get, you know, a casualty, you get pinned, you lose units, you have to reach in and pull a chit, put it off to the side. And some of the chits are good, like airstrike chits, mechanical breakdown chits. So that's another element to this game, is that there's some randomness to the things that will happen, and the little numbered chits that you pull out at the end of the game, you can deduct those off of your battle rating for your battle group. And on really close games, and a lot of times the games we've played, it's come down really close, or we just run out of time, somebody has to go. That way we can decide who won based off of how much of the battle rating score is left, right? The guy with the highest battle rating wins, right? So that's another way to decide the winner of the game. But you can see here, it's they got the same thing every rule set pretty much has these days. They've got different scenarios and the like, right? So that's basically it. Bottom line, there's really no comparing them. They're their own animal. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. There's some ambiguities in this rule set. There's some ambiguities in this rule set. There's some things that aren't totally hunky-dory in this one. Same with that. You're not ever. I don't think you're gonna find the perfect rule set. But my 2 cents, having played both games, I played Flames of War a lot longer and a lot more extensively. I would say, if you're just getting into World War II and you want to be a tournament player and you want to be able to play tournaments, you want something that's going to play a little quicker. The rules are a little more clear. I would be leaning towards Flames of War. If you're an older seasoned player and you really want to get more of a flavorful game, a game that's going to play more realistically to how units fought in World War II, and that's really what your interest is. You still have the list building, you still have all of that with this rule set. And hey, if you go this route, get the battle group, and you can maybe start tournaments in your own area, right, and be the one that starts your up tournament scene. That's the route you're going to want to go with this. Also, if you're looking to cut down on the expense, this is definitely the route you're going to want to go, right? Plastic Soldier kits are less expensive, the books are less expensive, and the game is on firm footing now. The books are being printed again, and they got the PDFs are coming out. They just expanded into is it Hanomag, which is basically 80s World War III, since the other competitor got into World War III. So there's that out there. However, that plays in 10 millimeter. Now you can still probably play it in 15 millimeter, but And I think there's guys that will play it in 28mm too. So this game is good in terms that that's scalable to different scales. Okay, that would be another positive point for Battlegroup. But again, there is no head-to-head. They're their own animals. But that's my 2 cents. That's kind of my commentary on the two rule sets, the kind of the differences. Flames is going to be highly supported by Battlefront. Battlegroup is back on firm footing again and is a good rule system. Okay, it's just got a different flavor to it. So hope that helps. I get the question a lot, and yeah, you're just going to have to, you know, get online. I'm sure they have some samples that you can look at with the different types of scenarios and things and different kinds of situations you get into with the rules. Okay. All right. Thanks for coming to the studio again today, guys. Hit like, hit subscribe, and for God's sake, keep wargaming. See you next time. Ciao.